And welcome into a Monday edition of the Backstage Pass. Always busy here. New week of shows coming up here, presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. If you hadn't check them out at bangtail.com. And of course, get that liquor sent to your door at easyliquor.com. Of course, and our good friends at Mitch Max, which has official Backstage Pass merchandise, coffee mugs, ladies apparel, men's apparel, all that great stuff there. And our good friends at hankjrproductions.com. Documenting life's moments. Check them out. I see photos every day from my good friend Henry Herrera, and they do a lot of great work out there at hankjrproductions.com. So appreciate all the work that our sponsors do. And here on the Backstage Pass, of course, great week of shows lined up. Don't forget, coming up this Friday is the great John Oates from the great Hall & Oates, best-selling duo of all time in the music industry. So John Oates will be with us this Friday at 4 o'clock. And then, of course, tomorrow, Tara Tinsley. And on Wednesday, good friend Rachel Stacy is going to stop by. And here in a few weeks, Hannah Dasher and a whole lot more here on the Backstage Pass, again, presented by Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMax.com, and HankJrProductions.com. And just a few weeks removed from a country radio seminar, our good friend and a country music artist. He's another South Alabama boy. Dustin Herring joins us here on the program. Dustin, what's up, man?
Not much. How are y'all doing?
Oh, brother, just hanging in there. Like I said, just shows keep coming, and we keep putting it on, and just keep putting out good content every when we get a chance to do that too. But man, I want to learn your backstory because I think it's very interesting that you have that traditional country sound, which led me to you here on the show to definitely just enjoy your music. The new single is Alabama Clay, which is across all the digital platforms out there, and I think it's a fantastic song. And you guys are riding, definitely riding high since it came out there just in late February. Hey, tell me about your story because I want to learn a lot about you here at the top. Music was connected, but I know there was a story about going to Auburn University and learning a few guitars and wanting to major in agriculture. Tell me about this.
Yeah, ended up. I always thought I'd play for the Atlanta Braves, and I learned when I quit growing at 5'10", I realized maybe I'm not going to make it in pro baseball. So picked a college, and Auburn just seemed like a good fit. I grew up in Alabama. We all grew up as Alabama fans, but the first time I went to Auburn, it's one of those things. I just knew that was where I was supposed to be. And being from like a small town, a farm town, ag business was an easy choice for me, and that's where I started picking up the guitar and stuff also.
Now tell me about this because writing songs kind of became that flavor for you at the same time, and it kind of brought you to newer heights. 2012, was there a Colgate Country Showdown that got you involved with that particular contest? And just being able to write songs, and I guess you were telling me a few weeks back this kind of became a sort of kind of a form of therapy for you.
Yeah, whenever I started writing songs, as soon as I wrote my first song, I knew I was hooked. And once I moved after college, I moved to Mississippi, and I was living in the Delta, and I was working for a company out there, and I didn't know a soul. So every night after I got off of work, all I did was write songs, and it really helped me kind of grow up a little bit. And it also helped me just get a lot of stuff off my chest and get it out there. And speaking of the Texaco Country Showdown, the reason I started even entering that thing is because they let you sing original music. So I just kept trying to build some confidence in myself and perform them out, and that's what ended up getting me my first little recognition as a songwriter.
When you look back and what a great city it was. Had a great week up there at the country radio seminar for that whole week. And Nashville just has changed over the last 15, 20 years since I had gone back there. Moving there was the move scary. I believe you said you moved there in 2014. And then, of course, you guys were playing live shows and performing to be 2 years later in 16. What was it like for that transition? To leave the small town to go chase after your dream and then to be playing shows 2 years after you moved there?
It was, I'm not going to say it wasn't kind of scary because when you get up here, it's just like anything else. You are now the little fish in the big pond. And I think I loved it so much, and I wanted to learn so much. And I just took that time to know that I'm kind of starting over. I'm at the back of the line again. And luckily I just had some good people take me under their wing and introduce me into the crowd. And slowly but surely, I worked my way into the little niches and groups of people and got my first rider shows and stuff like that. And then, bigger shows came from that.
Yeah, I love the selection of songs that you guys have put out. Sweet Tupelo, and of course, Alabama Clay is the current single you guys came out with February 22nd. But take me back to Geneva Country, the first album in 15, and then the High I Crave in 16. For you, how do albums change? The selection of songs you put on the albums, the work that goes on in the studio, the work that a lot of fans that love music just as much as I do, they don't see that goes on behind the scenes. But of course, how albums, you start with a project, and then of course everything after that is kind of keeping up the momentum and getting better and better as an artist.
Right. When I first started doing it, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew I had some songs, and I was finally at a place up here where they were getting quality records made. And when I did Geneva County, that's my home county base. That's where all my first support came from. It was just my friends and people who cared about music, and they were really, I don't know if they cared about the music or they cared about me, but either way, they definitely gave me the little bit of confidence I needed. And looking back, that first record was just songs about how I grew up, where I grew up. I was kind of still in my college years, I guess. So it was a little more of the tailgate, tan line type songs, that I was going through. And, and then once I got into town a little bit more, we did the High Crave. That was every song I had written, we were trying to get other people to cut them, trying to get that one little, feather in your cap that solidifies you are now a Nashville songwriter and you are, a legit artist in town. And we took all those songs and they just fit me. So we let those go out too. And like you said, with momentum, back then we didn't really have a goal. We didn't have a target. We didn't have any PR. We didn't have anything. We just had a hope and a prayer sort of and a good set of songs. And now we really kind of focus on, is that something I want to sing every night for the rest of my life? Is that who I really am? Is this song going to reach people? And I used to think I would only release stuff that I wrote, and now I know that sometimes a perfect song comes along and you can't. It's already made for you. There's no reason to try to reinvent the wheel, and that's kind of where we are right now with Alabama Clay.
Well, it's a hell of a song out there. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's across all the digital platforms or wherever you stream or download music. Before we have you play the latest single, tell me about Sweet Tupelo off that first record for Geneva County. And then, of course, the other one I want to talk about off there that really caught my attention, not just Sweet Tupelo, but Houston, which was the last track on there too. Tell me about those two songs.
Well, Sweet Tupelo it's funny. That's the song I wrote before I moved to Nashville. And it was back when I was just learning how to do it. And it was that time in country music where that progression just was becoming very familiar, I think. And it's just a really catchy song. And to this day, I think that's probably my most popular song on the digital streams. And I've always loved Sweet Tupelo. I wrote that by myself. And it was about this basically how all songs start. I met this girl in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I was like, there's a song in her somewhere, and that's how that one started. And then you spring forward to Houston. It's funny. It's a really funny story. Two guys that I met when I got involved in songwriting through NSAI, which is the Songwriter International group that they have, and it's nationwide, but it's based here in Nashville. We used to go to Little Rock, and we'd have these meetings, and that was my first little group of songwriters that I ever was introduced to. And I met two guys, Bo Attaway and Kimball Davis. Shout out to those guys. And that was before I moved to Nashville. And then one night I'm playing in Nashville, and these two guys walk into a songwriter show. We met, reconnected. First song we ever wrote was Houston. And that was just, a 3/4 time song is not heard of very often, but that was just, I was like, I've got this idea, and I think we can write it in a way for, kind of honoring those men and women that work, in the oil fields or the oil industry, anything that takes you on hitches and takes you away from your family. And that's another one. I mean, I think it was just beginner's luck or whatever, but whatever it was, that's always going to be a really special song to me.
Yeah, no doubt. And I love this. The record was awesome. I said Geneva Country earlier. It's Geneva County, so I do stand corrected. Geneva County is the record, but a lot of great country music on it too at the same time. Also, if a beer could make it better, I was listening to this morning a little bit, kind of going to the day job, and everything was just so much fun with that one too. Where did the backstory of that one come from?
I say that a lot of times that was my first co-ride. It was just me and my bird dog. And like I said, every night after work, I just sit at the house and write songs. And I'd broken up with a college girlfriend, and now you're out there and you're by yourself. You have all this time to reflect. And I just remember taking a beer out of the fridge and sitting down and just kind of making almost a smart comment to my dog. I was like, well, if a beer would make it better, you know, we'd be over this. And then I was like, well, I guess I know what we're doing tonight. And it was one of the easy ones, honestly. I hate I had to go through it to get a song out of it, but that's probably going to be one of my all-time favorites.
It's one of mine, no doubt, and it's real-world experiences, real-life experiences. Going through something
people
like
say,
that.
Where do you get these song ideas? I say, life, unfortunately.
And we're going to delve into songwriting a little bit more. I know it's probably a personal experience to you. We're going to have you play one right now here on the show for us. And, of course, I got a lot more to talk about. I mean, Shot in the Dark was something I enjoyed a lot, too. And then Horseshoes and Hand Grenades was one that led me to you, too, at the same time. So, again, you can check out DustinHerring.com. And if you got your guitar there, brother, we're going to play one, have you fire off one for us right here. So I always say the current single or wherever you'd like to start.
Let's do that Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, man.
All right, let's do it. It's all yours.
Losing a woman like you is such a shame. Loving a man like me's an acquired taste. All's fair in love and war is what they say. The close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Can't take back the words you didn't say. Can't blame them for leaving when they ain't got a reason to stay. Don't stand in a railroad station trying to catch a plane. And close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Every now and then I want to pull the pin, but I don't. Down yonder here it's really yours, but I won't, because I know it's a blessing and a curse, only memories remain. And nothing hurts worse than the one that got away. That's the lesson I've learned just a little bit too late. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Every now and then I want to pull the pin, but I don't. Down your number here, it's really yours, but I won't. 'Cause now we know that losing a woman like you is such a shame. And loving a man like me is an acquired taste. All fair in love and war is what they say. The close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Now I'm sleeping all alone in a bed I made. This close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
It's Dustin Herring here on the Backstage Pass, again presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and MitchMax.com, and of course HankJrProductions.com. And gotta love that one, brother. Like I said, if they can't feel that, they can't, I guess, feel country music. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. You guys put that out as a single. Let's talk about that one before I take a quick break. But it seemed like it came together very easy. Lyrics are really smooth. Lyrics kind of come easy for you. I want to say flawless at the same time. I know there's probably tougher writes than others, but did this one come together pretty quickly?
Honestly, it was another one of those. I think we kind of hit lightning on the first try. It was the first time I ever got to write with who's become like a mentor to me. His name is Mr. Steve O'Brien. Mm-hmm. And my good friend Bryce Carlisle introduced us, and he took me over to Steve's house. And Steve had this idea. Bryce had this melody. And somehow I was just the lucky one that had the lyrics that day. And and Bryce had this beautiful intro that he played on acoustic. We have that acoustic demo somewhere hiding in the file somewhere. But like, I'm so thankful for that song. That's become more like a really, that's my song, so to speak, in town. So I'm really proud of it.
I just love the lyrics, man. You guys put a lot of time into the songwriting, and of course, I love the fact that it just from the beginning, it just sounds really cool. And I'll say this, brother, I'm gonna compliment you on this because that particular tune, you've got this Eli Young kind of thing going on. I don't know if everybody's ever told you that, but there's this little
I
bit.
have heard that a few times, and I get it. I'll take any as long as it's good. I'm happy, man.
I mean that for compliment. You sound like Dustin Herring, but I could just still hear some of the different chords and the lyrics in there too. And what you do with your voice is really, really amazing for that traditional country sound. And of course, those guys being from down here in the South, I know their story, well in and well out, no doubt. One of the best groups of all time, but that just kind of felt that Eli Young connection after hearing it for several times. And you're like, man, he got that Eli Young kind of feel for that song.
I'm going to quote you on that next time I try to book some shows in Texas. I've been told I sound like Eli Young, baby.
Hey, quote me on it, brother. I'm a media guy, so that's what I do. And it's honestly when I give people compliment where compliments due. Hey, we'll take a quick break here for the sponsors. Come back. A lot to talk about, including the latest single. It's going to sing for us. And then we'll talk about definitely Shot in the Dark and a whole lot more here. It's Dustin Herring here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight. We're coming back after a word from Bangtail Whiskey. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, Dustin Herring on the Backstage Pass. Again, thanks to MitchMax.com and, of course, Bangtail Whiskey and our good friends over at Hank Jr. Productions for all the work they did up at Country Radio Seminar, the 23rd to 25th in Nashville, Tennessee at the Omni Hotel. Some great shows coming out over the next few weeks that Jeff is working very hard on, Jeff McMahon, to get out to you guys. Some great things with Shannon Doa and Maggie Baugh, Dustin Collins, and a whole lot more there. Some great interviews. And great content we captured while we were up there. Again, Dustin Herring back here on the program. So I've got to ask you about this one in particular you guys put out as a single last year, Shot in the Dark. Tell me about that one.
Oh, that was we wrote that song right before the pandemic. And of all things, I wrote it with my friend Rich Cloak from Canada. And Rich was, I think Canada was already in their little lockdown phase. Mm-hmm. And we wrote it via Skype. And I just wasn't having a great day. I wasn't feeling really good. And it was one of those days where, they tell you as a songwriter, you got to get up and go to work every day, whether you want to or not. It's just like any other job. And Rich just said something like, I was just taking a shot in the dark thinking maybe we could hit something today, And I was like, Rich, let's write that song right there. Let's do that. And I was just ready for something fun. I'd been so serious and I'd done so much of, just deep art. And I just wanted something that made me feel good. And we took that one and ran with it. And it was something we wanted to put out. Unfortunately, we put it out in the middle of a pandemic. But I was like, you know what? Some people are still finding ways to have a good time. And that's what we wanted to do with that one.
Hey, Matt, like I said, get a title and snap. There comes a song out of it, too. I tell you, this one off the High I Crave, this one caught my attention was Tailgates Always Open. Is that the correct title for it?
Yeah.
And you actually worked with a very special person on that project too. Tell me about just the song title, because I thought that was another catchy, just good tune off a good record that you guys put out. Where did that one originate from?
So my good friend Marcus Fox, he's a former Marine. He's a country artist. Marcus was just telling us the story he had back when they got out of like a deployment. They had like a decompressing type area, and it was Marcus and my friend Zach Lambert, and Marcus is telling us the story, and he's like, we just told them guys when we got back, he said, man, you ever need to talk, men aren't made to do that kind of stuff. And he was just like, well, my tailgate's always open if you ever want to have it. And I feel so proud that Marcus sang with me on that, and that he was proud of it enough to let me put it out. And he was kind of in between records. And it's just, looking back, I don't think I even realized how well we did on that song. And like I said, it means so much to a lot of people, and it really means a lot to me.
It's kind of cool, especially just to see your career grow. And I think any artist that's been in this for a while, or somebody that called Nashville a 10-year town, but when you get to have opening performances and different things for well-known performers, you've done this with a few of the big names out there. Many of the big names, Ashley McBryde and Mark Chestnut, just to name a few. When you get a chance to step on a stage before that main act comes on, the people that have been doing it for a long time, do you pick up any kind of, tidbits in watching the show? What's it like to meet those type of people, and just to carry a little bit of something from their shows into your show for the next time out?
One, if you can get over your nerves and call in. What's good about it is once you're through performing, you can just stand over there to the side and you can just learn so much from them, because they've been doing it for so long, and they know how to grab that crowd and just hold them right there in their hand. And it's just I don't know if you can teach it, but I dang sure want to try to learn it. But, anytime you get to be on anything right there where you get to share their fans with you, and you get to grow as an artist, it's just it's a blessing. And I think I appreciate everybody that's ever given me an opportunity or helped line anything up, and looking forward to doing it again.
What's the best advice you can give kind of a new artist in this industry? I guess people that are definitely watch a lot of just because I say reality TV, who doesn't watch it these days, you get caught up in it. But I'm really selective on what I pick, and I love American Idol. I love The Voice. I love America's Got Talent, which is cool with that. But what's kind of the advice, you've been doing this for a while now, you can give a new artist, or what's the best advice you've been given as an artist to keep going in this career?
The best advice I've been given is do it because you love it, and do it because there's nothing else in this world you'd rather do. I see it all the time. A lot of people that are doing what we do, they're not doing it for the fame, and you're damn sure not doing it for the money right off the bat, and there's going to be some really hard times, and you got to just know this is what you're made to do, and know that when it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen, and your life can change tomorrow. You just got to get up. And like I said, you got to get up, go to work. You got to go write. You don't know who your next friend that you meet that you're writing songs with is going to blow up. You got to do. It's kind of like when you do a nice thing for somebody, you don't do it to be able to say you did a nice thing, or if you do a favor. Same way with this music. You got to make music because that's what you want to do, and when it's supposed to happen, I truly believe it'll happen. And for good people, your time's coming if you just hang in there long enough.
It's like I said, not a sprint, it's a marathon. They've heard that old saying when it comes down to it, both in sports and in music, no doubt. Hey, let's talk about the single here. Came out just a couple of weeks ago for you guys. They're February 22nd. We were in Nashville at the time it came out. Alabama Clay, and I was actually talking to people about it there too at the hotel and told them what a hell of a song that was on day one of the CRS, and today day three, which we got a chance to do some amazing interviews to cover it those 2.5 media days we were there. And people loved it. And of course, just everybody I was talking to, it was just one of those songs, traditional country. Oh yeah, it's making a comeback. And, check out Dustin Herring and check out Alabama Clay and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of cool to have those conversations with people, radio stations, and people in the industry to let them know, hey, here's, this great artist out there that's bringing back traditional country and staying true to his roots. I'll tell you what, let's have you play this one. We'll come back and talk about it here. And it's out there platform. So again, the floor is all yours, my friend. And again, I want to put the website out there, Dustin Herring, HERRING.com, for all the latest tour dates and other information out there too, brother. It's all yours.
First time he saw the ground get busted, He was 10, it was 1952. His daddy worked hard from sun up to sundown, and the going got tough behind them old gray mules. The farm grew to be a money maker, and the house he lived in grew up room by room. The boy worked hard but soon got tired of farming, so we slipped away one night beneath the harvest moon. His neck is red as Alabama clay, but the city's tall, pulled him away. He got a factory job and runs a big machine. He don't miss the fall, the fields of green. Now the city's just a prison without fences, and his job is just a routine that he can't stand. And at night he dreams of wide open spaces, fresh dirt between his toes and on his hands. And then one day a picture came inside a letter of a young girl with a baby in her arms, and the words she wrote would change his life forever. So he went to raise his family on the farm. His deck is red as Alabama clay. Now he's going home, this time to stay, where the roots run deep on the family tree, and the tractor rolls through the fields of green. His neck is red as Alabama clay.
Neck is red as Alabama clay. Boy, don't get more country than that. And I'll say this too. I talked about Eli Young in the second one. When I heard this one, I said, you know what? He's open for this guy, and Beaumont native and Texas guy down here too, and a good friend of the program. Love him a lot. Seen him in concert several times. You got this little, that last part, neck is red as Alabama clay. There's a little bit of Mark Chestnut that comes out there at the end. So I'm just complimenting you on that too. So
I'll definitely take that one. You on that one too. I appreciate it.
I've seen that dude pick up a guitar and just do what you're doing right there in one of the best for Beaumont, Texas.
Even to this day, his shows, I mean, that's probably when people ask me what's the best show you've ever seen, I say it's Mark Chestnut. I mean, it's just like a record.
That's exactly, and many it amazes me when it comes down to it, because like I said, he can do full band, he can do acoustic, and you get the real deal. And of course, coming up here in a few weeks, we got another Beaumont boy going to join us here on the program, Tracy Bird, coming by here on the Backstage Pass. So that's another one. Yeah, man, down here, Dustin, it's Bird, it's Clay Walker, and it's Mark Chestnut, George Jones country down here too.
That's right.
We got it right here in Texas. Hey, I'm feeling so good right now. Before I take this break, I'm gonna have you play another one for us. And I got, of course, I know it could be a request from me too, but I'm gonna let you pick this one, whether it be off an album or something like that too. After this break, you think about it.
Okay.
I'll have you play one more. We'll take this break for our sponsors, and just because I'm feeling good and it's like a bonus Monday, that's a good thing, no doubt. So we'll come back with Dustin Herring. Have one more performance here on the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned for a word from MitchMax.com, the official Backstage Pass merchandise maker out there, men's apparel, ladies apparel, and some other kind of souvenirs. You can check that out. And, of course, our good friends at HankJr.Productions.com. Hang tight. A word from Mitch Max, and we're coming right back. And Bangtail Whiskey. More to come with Dustin Herring here on the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And back here on the show again, it's Brandon Morrill, Dustin Herring here on the Backstage Passing, presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and MitchMax.com, and of course our good friends at Hank Jr. Productions.com. Appreciate all the work that our sponsors do out there, and of course giving us the trip to Nashville, Tennessee up there for CRS. And I tell you this, Dustin, so we just got these in and I had to share it with people out there. You know, it's kind of cool to get you a coffee mug,
That's
which
awesome.
is there for the show. You get your logo on it. You're like, man, it makes this a little official now. So it's kind of a little thing out there that people can find. Big type of center. You can put a good amount of a cup or two in there. So it's good stuff there. And definitely check out DustinHerring.com. So I give you a little time to think it over. A little bonus track here. What you going to play?
I want to do you one of my favorite songs that I used to play when I was coming up. And I get told I sound like this guy a lot, so I might as well own it for a change.
Another one. Here we go.
Think about this old Tracy Lawrence song.
Here we go.
The sister cries out from her baby bed. Brother runs in with feathers on his head. And mama's in her room learning how to sew. And daddy's drinking beer, listening to the radio. Hank Williams sings to Liza and Darren John. And time marches on. If time marches on. The sister's wearing rouge and clear complexion so. Brother's wearing beads and smokes a lot of dough. Mama gets depressed and barely makes a sound. And daddy's got a girlfriend in another town. Bob Dylan sings like a rolling stone. And time marches on. And time marches on. The south moves north, the north moves south. A star is born, a star burns out. The only thing that stays the same is everything changes, everything changes. A sister calls herself a sexy grandma. Brother's on a diet with high cholesterol. And mama's out of touch with reality. And daddy's in the ground beneath the maple tree. The angels sang an old Hank Williams song. And time marches on. And time marches on. And time marches on. Time marches on. Time marches on. If time marches on.
Yeah, I can see where a little Tracy Lawrence is being there too. No doubt about it. We've done 3 for 3 with Tracy, the Eli Young Band, a little bit of Mark Chestnut there in that single Alabama Clay. So check that out across all the digital platforms and DustinHerring.com for all the merchandise, tour dates, things like that. Hey, I'll start rapid fire with this today because I love doing this. As far as touring goes, man, it's just good to see artists back out there doing what they're doing, and definitely got a chance to go to a lot of shows up there in Nashville when I was there for CRS Week. Tell me about yourself, your schedule, and I'm sure you guys have some dates to announce, and that website probably the best place to go get it, right?
Yes, sir. We've got everything updated on the Bands in Town link. That's through the Dustin.com. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up. We're going to be doing back in Alabama. We're going to be even doing a little swing out to Texas in May.
All
We're
right.
finalizing that right now. We've already got a few dates. Then we're heading up to New York City, Floribama. It's going to be a good summer, a good spring. So we're looking forward to it.
Love that. Bringing traditional country right back where it should be. No doubt about it. Play what you know how to play, man. No doubt. All right, let's do this. Favorite restaurant to eat at in Nashville? What would it be?
My favorite restaurant is, I don't eat out very much. If I had to tell you where to go to Stony River.
Stony River. Okay. So
Yeah,
I got to try.
It's kind of a high end, but my go-to is scoreboards. I mean, I love scoreboards.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I got a lot to try. I only got
the local. If you like wings, go to the local. That local is probably another good one right there. So
I missed Martin's. Was it Martin's Barbecue? Yeah, when I was up there, that was really good. Next to the Omni, went too far. Did some stuff. Old Red, Blake's place had some good food there. I went over to Franklin and I tried this place called Sperry's. It'd been around since 1974. It was like a cafe steakhouse. It was for the best prime rib I ever had, and I'm not a big prime rib fan, but that was pretty tender as far as the slow cooking they put in that. So there was some few of the holes. I had me a hot chicken sandwich. It was at Bar Lines when I was there in the Omni.
Is it
What's
hot?
that?
It's hot.
No, it actually was not. It had just a good flavor to it. There was no hot temperature, mild, if you will, but I did not get to Hattie B's, and I didn't get to Peg Leg Porker. They said was another one that was just good barbecue there. But I'll tell you this, man, Martin's was strong and hit you in the stomach in a good way. But I'll tell you this, it put some, and no disrespect to these restaurants, but it put some Texas barbecue places to shame down here.
Really?
Martin's. Yeah. And people kept telling me, Memphis was a spot to go. I was like, well, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Memphis barbecue. But I'll say this, the Nashville side of it, Martin surprised me, bro. That was
nice.
That was
meat on you up here. If you can get in there, they'll put some meat on you.
No doubt. But the hot chicken sandwich was Bar Lines, and it was actually better than the one we have down here. Of course, it's Nashville hot chicken. It should be a little bit better too. But yeah, I love that, no doubt. All right, let's do this one. Favorite superhero or cartoon growing up?
I was a Ninja Turtle man. I had Ninja Turtles and some G.I. Joes, but you couldn't go wrong with.
I love that. All right, stay on the theme of TV. Anything you're binge watching now that's really good?
I just have started watching The Sopranos.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why, but I got HBO Plus and started watching that. What little time I have on the in the evening, like on Sundays, that's what I do. So.
I like that. All right, let's say Dustin Herring won a scratch off a good amount of money tomorrow, or just won the lottery, whether it be Powerball or something like that. What's the first thing he'd do with the money?
Buying some land back home and moving back home. I'll make music down there and live down there and fly wherever I need to go and hunt and fish wherever I go from here on out.
I like that. There's another hunting and fishing right up my alley too.
I mean, I already know what I'm doing with that one. That was an easy one.
Break some ground, put you a pond out back, and do my brother just go throw a line.
Yeah.
Put some fish in it and get after it. Like I said, that'd be a good thing there too. All right, let's talk food. I guess I love pizza. It's my favorite food out there. I did get to Daisano's when I was over in Bellevue. That was one of the other places we had great pizza pie, no doubt. When it comes to your pizza and it's just for Dustin, what toppings go on it?
Pepperoni, jalapeno, and pineapple.
Okay, unique concoction. I like that.
Yeah, little heat, sweet. Yeah, thin. I like it thin, and I like it as crunchy as you can get it.
Well, hey, I'm with you on the crunch side of it. Hey, I got a little comment I'm going to go to here. Appreciate people chiming in here on the show. You can always leave a comment in the comment box. Brandon Wright. Hey, like I said, there's some compliments that come your way too, so that's a good thing when it comes down to it. So I can already get that feeling, brother. It's out there too,
Thanks, Brandon.
Based on the songs that come out there. All right, let's do this one. I love kind of breaking it out from time to time. Coffee drinker, and of course I just mentioned the mug, so what a great segue that would be. Coffee drinker, what type of coffee, what goes in it?
I only drink coffee at the duck camp or the deer camp, and it's the Louisiana folks, they only let us drink community, and I just take community coffee and one thing of Splenda.
Hey, I'm with you on the community coffee. That's kind of what my trademark has been over the past, 6-7 years since I really got into coffee with these early mornings, working the day job and doing the show here. So it definitely, you got to have it. And I'm with you. Like, can drink it black, a little bit of Splenda, but I got to have community's got to be the brand.
Yeah.
So that's biggest things out there. Hey, man, we appreciate the time here on the show. Alabama Clay is the current single. check him out at dustinherring.com. Dustin, appreciate the time, man. Good to get to have you here on the show. Great to know you, my friend. And keep us posted on all the new information, new singles, new music that comes out. Hope you had a great time and come back again, no doubt.
Yeah, and I hope to see you when I'm out there in Texas, man. Thanks again for having me.
Come on down. No problem. It's Dustin Herring here on the Backstage Pass. Again, thanks to Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMax.com, and our good friends over at Hank Jr. Productions. We're back tomorrow with Tara Tinsley on the program at 4 o'clock here on the Backstage Pass. Friday big show coming up this week at 4 o'clock. The best-selling duo of all time, one half of those guys, John Oates, right here on the Backstage Pass. Of course, talking about some cool things in his camp. What an honor it is to have John on the program. And next week, you know her from The Voice, Emily Ann Roberts is going to stop by here on the Backstage Pass. So a whole lot more to look forward to. And, of course, thanks to the sponsors. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel here. Again, it's the Backstage Pass. Have a great night.